Good afternoon to this man all the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of WMME Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we got a few more days left of this month, and you know what's coming up? Halloween is coming. Halloween is coming. All the spooks are out. Remember, I used to hear that when I was in elementary school. It's one of the few Halloween carols I know next to like my mind playing tricks on me. That's truthfully a Hollywood. That's a ghetto Halloween song. But anyway. I will follow a lot of guys here on social media, especially on YouTube, who do content on women in mixed martial arts. Especially my brother, CS Combat Sports. That's the coach. He's married Spine who got into this whole thing into being on YouTube. Appreciate it. Much respect to him. My brother's Combo Breaking 99, No Filter MMA. My little brother XA Gucci 23. Also, people also follow like DC J Combat and also the WMA Addict, and they've been talking about stuff that's going on right now. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, there were a couple of fights that were possible future title contenders. You know, the champion in 125 for the women is Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko. I'm a big fan of the Bullet, but these women are acting like they're scarred. They're scarred. Like if you're from the country, you don't say scared, you say scarred. It's spelled differently, but you get the point of it. And Valentina's been a dominant champion, but they act like she's like there's a mythical story of a woman called herself Baba Yaga. And you've ever watched the movie John Wick? John Wick was called Baba Yaga, and it was meant to, it's the one that is sent to kill the boogeyman. And Valentina is the one that killing the boogeyman. She beat the boogie woman that was Joanna Jacek a while back. And they see her as that. I mean, they see her as Baba Yaga. They're afraid of Valentina, especially at dominance. Valentina, as I said again, she is a chess master playing among checker players. Her skill set is impeccable. I mean, she is next level, but she did have a hard time when she went to the UFC, fighting this 135 because she's not that big of a girl. I mean, woman, excuse my frank, be frankly, and then she used to always come in like underweight at the 135 weight line. She'd come in like 133, 132, and beating girls that were bigger than her. People like Juliana Pena and Sarah Kaufman and Holly Holm, with a skill set. And wasn't that long ago, a few years ago, they created the 125 out of Tough. When they did it, they had the Tough series. They created 125. She moved to 125 because it was a good weight for her. She even in 125, she said comes a little bit under the weight. Like sometimes 124 or 123. And her debut fight was against Priscilla, the zombie girl Cachera. And I saw that fight, and she killed her. I mean, look at her. This is a bloody mess. This is something you see out of a horror movie. I mean, and guess who was at if you remember, who was the referee at that fight? Mario. If she dies, she dies. Yamasaki. Yes, Mario. And I remember Valentina looked up before for like a second to see who was going to stop it, but he finally did stop it. And Valentina gets up with a thumbs up, smiling, covered in blood. Damn, this is, I think this is the shit that scared these girls. They see this. They see it in the nightmares. They see Valentina's Candy Woman. They look in the mirror say her name 3 times. Valentina, Valentina, Valentina. She popped right behind them. That's what they scared of. This scared these girls. And the champion at the time was Nico Montano. Nico won the Tough finale, which she was up against Roxanne Modafferi, and she became the women's flyweight champion, the first flyweight champion. But then when the opportunities come that she was going to face Valentina, she sabotaged that. Nico, she came in overweight, and next thing you know, she got, she did come back and she fought at 135. Eventually, she got cut, and now we don't know where Nico's at. We might see her come back in Bellator or someplace like that, but she disappeared. She's somewhere. And then she fought for the title, up against Joanna Jacek. Now, her and Joanna have a past. They both fought each other back in Muay Thai. And, Valentina has beaten her 3 times in a row. And this is going to be their fourth fight and the first time in MMA. And even though, hey, this fight with a distance, Joanna, as we call her Bojango Check, and she calls her the Boogie Woman. Like I said, Baba Yaga killed the Boogie Woman. She put up a good fight. I mean, Jordan put up a good fight, but not enough to get past, to get the win over Valentina. And this was now Valentina is 4-0 over Joanna Jacek. Then she had her first title defense against Jessica Evil. We call her Evil Black Eye. And I still love it. She laid her out. Look at her. She got crucifix. She got crucified. She's laying on the mat, on the mat, just laid out, arms stretched out. She was asleep. Asleep. I saw that fight. I heard when Valentina hit her with her foot and just put her out. And next thing you know, she had her second title defense up against Liz Gorilla Carmouche. And I'm a big fan of Liz Carmouche. You know, she was the one of the women who started in early in the UFC. She fought against the champion Ronda Rousey. And you know they fought before, but it was a win in favor of Carmouche because it was a doctor stoppage because Valentina had a very bad cut. No one can ever find that video. We can't find it nowhere. It's impossible. And next thing you know, she fought against Caitlin Chikagian, the blonde fighter, who kind of for a while was dodging this fight because the fact was, hey, you know, she was dodging the fight. She was saying, I gotta do this, I gotta get married, yeah. And then she eventually had no choice. She had to fight her because she was one of the top contenders at the time. But Valentina just took her out, just crucified her. I mean, look at her, just dropping elbows, a series of clubbing blows. And then next, you know, she begins Jennifer Maia. Some people say, oh, Jennifer Maia was going to be one of her toughest opponents. But she was tossing Jennifer Maia like a rag doll. I mean, yes, she had a difficult time in the first round, but after a while, when Valentina gets herself together, when she gets her mind situation, when she gets her brain going, she already has a strategy. When she makes adjustments, you know, I mean, people are still talking about how, oh, Jeremiah had that one takedown, but didn't hold it long. But, you know, Valentina was thrown around like a rag doll. And next thing you know, she fights against Jessica Andrade. And people talk about, oh, Jessica Andrade is going to... Nah, Jessica Andrade. Look, the Hulk got smashed. It was like, if you remember Infinity War, when Thanos beat up the Hulk. That's what happened to Jessica Andrade. You know, Valentina is Thanos. She's Thanos. She's got a snap. It's in a nebula. It's in nebula you're gonna get past Valentina. And then they say she against Lunch Lady Murphy. Now I don't call her a nickname anymore. I call her Lunch Lady Murphy now. And you know, this is the Lunch Lady's eating her foot, but she just dominated against poor Lunch Lady. I mean, it was a dominant fight. And then she faced off for probably some people consider probably one of her toughest fights, and that was Taila Santos. And I watched that fight. I've seen it, and you know, Taila did give Valentina a run for money. I mean, she gave her a tough fight. But, you know, even if she had the ground, even had her back a few times, she wasn't doing enough. And I keep saying this, she was not doing enough. Valentina was just a better fighter, using her skill set, using her her counter punching. Yes, there was that talk about, oh, it was a headbutt for what happened to with Taila. But nah, it was just Valentina using her skills. Because even though, Taila was a little bit bigger, she's still limited. Size does not matter, especially with Valentina, because the fact was she has beaten girls bigger than her and has come out dominant, And other than her fight against Amanda Nunes, I think that's probably one of her second toughest fights in her career against Santos. But Santos is she's talking about, oh, she wants a shot at the title. She wants a shot at the title. The thing is, Santos is still recovering from a busted orbital bone over her eye. And then if she does recover, that's still going to be a weakness. Because even, she's not going to do surgery. She's going to let go naturally. Here's the thing is, you're going to need surgery. Because if you come in there and you still have issues with that eye, Valentina's going to take advantage of that. Because she knows your weakness and she's going to take advantage of it. People talking about Talia could probably beat in the rematch. I don't think so. Especially she has issues with her like a lawsuit against her former coaching team because she didn't pay him. So there's a good chance if they do have a rematch, I don't think Talia's gonna win. I don't think I don't see it in the cards for her. Now you have people, little loudmouths who I talked about, these little punks like my man Jerome, young punks like Macy Barber talking junk, talking about, oh, she can beat Valentina, or Princess Casey. I don't call her king. I don't like this. King is a moniker for a man. I'm a king. My brother's a king. She's either queen or princess, but when she acts, she's a little princess. A little princess. And Macy, she took a little rock when she lost against Grandma Roxanne Modafferi, the Happy Warrior. And we saw that fight. I saw that fight. And she just seemed like she was never the same, And then, y'all know that Casey's been doing pretty good. She beat Valentina's big sister, Antonina, And then, then she bounced back. She beats Roxanne Modafferi, who officially retired. That was Roxanne's last fight. And I remember, and I still think Casey's a young punk. She's yelling hard, like she's saying, "Boo, yeah, forget it, Casey O'Neill." Princess Casey. I don't call her ABJ. I ain't calling no king. I call her Princess Casey. That's who she is. And then we had, you know, Miranda. She bounced back. I mean, sorry, not, Casey. I mean, sorry, Macy bounced back with a win over Miranda Maverick. And I saw that fight. She didn't beat Miranda Maverick. I don't know how in the world the judges gave that fight to Macy Barber. But then she popped up with some more wins. But she still has a long way to go to get an opportunity to beat Valentina. She don't have a chance. This little girl's gonna be dinner. She be food. And we all know Princess Casey, she's out because she has a knee injury. So here's a possibility. Yeah, she's even talking about going to 115. So you're gonna change your mind, and go down to another weight class because you're scared of fighting against Valentina. You were talking all that yin yang, but there's a curse. When you talk about Valentina, there's a curse, and that's why her knees snapped. And there's a good possibility, like I said, Casey's a young girl. She's an attractive young girl. There's a good chance she might get pregnant. I see some pictures of she on social media. Hey, she's young, she's attractive. She's sitting around the house with a broken knee. Hey, all I gotta do is say the right guy say the right words, and hey, get her panties, and she's done. She may not even come back if she gets knocked up. She's still young and fertile. She's in her 20s. You have Erin Blanchfield, who's also been talking junk about, she can probably take out Valentina, and Miranda Maverick, who also been saying the same thing. And Fear the Maverick, but no one feared the Maverick after she took a back-to-back losses, losing both to Macy Barber and to Erin Blanchfield. And Blanchfield's doing pretty good. She's climbing up. The last fight she won by submission. But the big question is, will Miranda Maverick pop up? Because she's still young, and here's the mistake that she did. She got married. And Miranda's still young. I think Miranda's like in her mid-20s. She's still young. And that's the thing is, my man, the coach, talked about this. You get that tip, meaning the tip, things could happen. And you're a young girl, you're married to a young guy, and he's not going to always, and hey, sometimes, you can sometimes forget about you taking your birth control. That could happen. That does happen. And, like I said, Miranda I think Miranda has an amazing body. I think I like her physique, but there's still opportunity that she might also, being that she's young and married and still fertile, possibly get pregnant. And that happens, her career is going to be set back for a while. It takes a good while for some of these ladies who do have kids and who are competitive fighters and for them to come back. You look at how long it took Juliana Pena and also Sarah McMahon, a couple others who have gotten, like we're still waiting on Yana Kuzskaya to come back, and I think Miranda. That's the thing again, the curse of Valentina. Then you have Alexa Grasso. A while back she moved to 125 after taking a lot of losses at 115 and dodging some heavy hitters like Jessica Andrade, and now she's doing pretty good with and also you have Manon Ferrier who came over, and she's doing pretty good, making her having to stack up a bunch of wins. Um, you Alexa beat Macy Barber, gave her one of her other losses on her record, and which kind of put it, makes it a little bit back. And then you had Manon coming up with some dominant wins, but you feed someone like Tabby Ritchie, who's a natural strawweight, just because you needed an opponent because you didn't have anybody. I mean, I watched that fight. She even grabbed the girl by the head and hit it like a punching bag. Damn, it was unfair. She was undersized fighting this girl who's way bigger. And then they both fought the same card together back in March, in which Alexa won her fight up against JoJo Wood. I was about to say called her, but she no longer have to call her. And she beat her by submission. And then you had Manon, who fought Jennifer Maia, who was one time a title contender, and beat her by, I think by unanimous decision. The last few fights, it's been like close fights. Her fight against Silva, Mario Moreno Silva, was kind of close. She was kind of disappointed because she knocked out Silva. But this fight against somebody like Jennifer Maia, who's been in the game for a long time, was probably one of her toughest fights in her career. And then they both had fights no more than about a week apart of each other. And Alexa, she was part of the main event for the last fight night, which was about a week or so ago. And she faces against Viviane Araújo. And there was some people thought that Vivi was going to win this fight. But, and then also last Saturday, we had in the UFC 280, we had the blonde fighter, Shagan Jakagian, who was a former title contender, up against Manon Ferrier. And this was an Aaron fantasy, two blonde white fighters. I mean, and they had in Dubai, the perfect place if you're going to have a fight between two blonde white women. The perfect place. So anyway, Alexa put on a clinic. She used her boxing and her footwork, and she beat Vivian. One big concern about Vivian because she had issues with her stamina, and that was a lot of people thought well, what she had to do is take Alexa to the ground. She did take Alexa to the ground one time, but she didn't stay long. But Alexa, she kept it standing, and Vivian doesn't have the skill set for stand up. She doesn't, and she dominated by United decision. And then with Manon, she had a fight against Katie Chikagian. That fight was kind of, it was by split decision for Manon. And it was kind of not that well. It wasn't that much of a barn burner. A lot of people were like hoping to see a knockout or real dominant performance by Manon. But Katie Chikagian, she's cagey. She's cagey. It's tough. It's pretty much almost tough to beat her. She's beating some pretty tough girls, and she has taken some beating herself. But but one thing was while watching, this is my man Colin Breaker 99 doing the commentary, that she needs to learn to work the body more, not just with kicks. She's using the skill set of savate. Savate is a French European fighting style. We do a lot of kicking more than anything, and that's what she was using against Chikagian. But these two young girls, they were asked the opportunity. I think both, they were asked the opportunity who they wanted next, and they said they want one more fight. What the hell? I mean, what kind of this? This is y'all scared little girls? You scared? Like Manon's only a couple of years younger than Valentina. She's 32, and Alexa, she's still young. With Manon, your time is getting shorter because I know Manon has a boyfriend, and he's gonna be at the point where he wants to settle down, so he wants to maybe start a family. And Alexa, like I said, Alexa's just in her, I think her mid-20s now, and you really have to step up. You can't be little girls. And when somebody say, "Oh, Valentina's coming," and you go run and hide and behind a tree and you're pissing your panties. No, you have to step up. This is the opportunity. You have to say something. But I think there's even one point when Alexa said, "Oh, I'll let Nick Maynard set up the fight." Nick Maynard. Wait a minute. What? No. This is supposed to be you. You have been, ever since you went to 125, you've been stringing a series of wins. Couple of close calls and some submissions and a dominant performance. You should be. One more fight's not going to make a difference. The same thing with Manon. One more fight is not going to make a difference. You're still going to get yourself handed to you. Even if you get one more fight with another opponent, you're still going to get your ass handed to you. You bunch of scared little girls. Stop being scared. Stop being cowards. And what cowards means? Scared cowards. Valentina's going to dance on you. She's styling on you, dancing on you, beating on you. She has that smile on her face, doing a little Russian little dance, spinning like a top. She's spinning on you. You hear that song, "You got me going round, spinning round, round, round a record rain, round, 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 round." That's what she's gonna do on. Because Valentina is a queen. She's the queen of that division. She's dominant. And all these other girls are scared. Now, there's some girls who've been calling out, but those girls are not ready yet. They're not ready. They're not ready. They're like my Kevin Hart voice. They ain't ready. They ain't ready. They're not ready for Valentina. I know there's some people out there who are haters. Execute your country. But, and there's some people who respect her skill set. Valentina is a tough opponent. We all know this. Whoever fights her, whoever's the next opponent, they're not going to win. We're just going to admit that for it. We're just going to admit that. There's a possibility we're going to have to wait till maybe the middle of next year before she gets a rematch with Taylor Santos. And then there's a possibility they might set up a fight between Grasso and Manon to see who's going to be the next one to take this whooping. So why not? As you know, Valentina has been one of the most active fighters in women's mixed martial arts next to Ronda Rousey. Now, I'm not a big Ronda Rousey fan, but Ronda was really active as a champion. And so is Valentina. And other than someone we all know, Lioness Queen, who has not been too active, who she waits to fight maybe every 2 years, all about. And she has over 2 divisions, even though one's a dead division, which they could grow, but Dana White, you bald-headed, crystal clean. Yeah. I know. But Valentina is a dominant champion. She's been dominant for the past 3 or 4 years ever since she got the title. And she comes up and step up. I respect her. Because, she like you said, we go in that cage, it's you and me, there's no one to save you. And she is serious. She's serious. She's committed to what she's doing. She's committed to the fight game. What she has in the future, whatever she wants to do. She might keep on fighting until, like I said, she never took a lot of damage. Never took a lot of, never been a lot of wars like some fighters. She, like Mike Tyson, one of my favorite fighters, other than his fight against Buster Douglas and a couple of fights here and there, he never been in a lot of drag out, battles. you know. And, compared to some fighters he fought, some of these guys are not in the best mental shape mentally or physically. But Valentina, she's in a good place. She's in a good place. And I think right now you got, these two scowards scared. Scared. Because Valentina's going to be dancing on her. She's styling on her. Dancing on them, styling on them. But like I said, I respect for the Bullet. I think she's a great fighter. She's a great champion. And like I said, I think she's going to break records. She is. I think she's going to have the most wins in any man or woman in mixed martial arts history. And I think as a champion. But like I said, we'll wait and see what's happened. We'll wait to see on either Sean Shelby or Nick Maynard or what Dana White say. But these guys, they're about the money. They're about, and like I said, as I always say, my mom used to say, a closed mouth don't get fed. So why not take the butt whooping and get paid? That's all it is. Just take the butt whooping and get paid. You'll be all right. You're still young. Y'all can bounce back. Anyway, much respect to the Bullet. Much respect to her dominance, her skill set. And like I said, we'd like to see more of her in the future. Anyway, this is man, George Page, a.k.a. the Emperor of WMA Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.